Hi there. Well, this is take 3 because I have installed this row 2 times already and it was wrong. Um, so I'm going to make it 3 times the charm. And if this doesn't work, I may have to just take my lesson that it's not good for me to talk and try to do this. I'm really hoping that I can be educational and helpful for anybody that might be thinking about doing this kind of nerve-wracking project. So I normally do a lot of talking and a lot of technical, and people don't watch, or they watch very little. So this is just watching me install a row, and I realize that my hand is in the way. That will change shortly. So installing the row is only about 10 minutes, maybe a little less, with this size loom, this size warp. But it's the setup that's forever. I figure it takes me about 45 minutes a row, and this is the fast part. When you do something in a photorealistic style like this, you're making a lot of color changes and getting those all laid out and making sure you have exactly the right number of beads. Because part 1 and 2 turned out I was short. Even though I fixed what was the problem between 1 and 2, it was still short. And I think I know what happened. It wasn't really a matter of picking up the wrong ones, but I won't go into that because I'm trying to stay non-technical today and just fun. So I don't know if you can see these little tiny beads. I tried to zoom in, but my camera said, nope, you can't do that. So zoom in on from your computer if you want to. And what I'm doing is you have on either side of a bead a warp thread, which are these ups and downs. And then you string the beads on your weft, which is the back and forth beads or thread. And yeah, see, talking's not good for me apparently. And the strung beads go behind, which you're looking at this from the behind, and then come around that last warp thread, and then I go back through from left to right and go back through that hole in the bead, but this time I make sure that the warp threads are behind. The weft is in front of the warp. So when it comes behind, the weft is behind the warp, and then you come around and the weft's in front of the warp, each one going through the bead twice. And what that does is create a little cage for each bead. And that way it's locked into its place, but at the same time there's flexibility. I can move these guys around because they've got floaty ability. When I'm done, I tighten this up. I bring it down so it's right on top of the one in front of it, and take care of all the slack. And that way it truly is locked into its own little cage. So what was I talking about? This is about, I don't even think this will be 10 minutes. I think I'm at 5:46 right now. So this might be 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes. The lower part of this was much more small increments. It was like every 1 or 2 beads I had to change color. So now we get actually some segments that, woo, you get 40, 50 different blacks right in a row, or oranges, or, you know, whatever tiny increment of color variation from just a solid, you know, solid known color to us. There's dozens of different oranges, pinks, salmons. You know, there's just dozens of oranges in this thing. So even though it's got a background that looks primarily black, it's not. It's got lots and lots of different dark shades and different finishes on the beads. There's a lot of shiny ones, but there's some that are matte. There's some that have, they call them galvanized. They have like a galvanized metal look to them. And some are clear and some are opaque. And that's part of the fun of this, is the setup, to find what the quality of the bead would work best in that particular area. So setting up a pattern before anything starts can take days. And then ordering beads and trying to get them from every place I ordered them, because nobody has every single color in stock all the time. I mean, even if they do have a huge array of colors, there's 1,100 in this particular manufacturer's palette. So somebody's going to run out of some color, and of course it is the exact color that I need, and nothing else will do. Sometimes I can make substitutes, but the really expensive or really unusual materials in the glazes, or in, not really a glaze, the color that goes into the glass, some of them are very hard to get. Some of them they use like precious metals and trace metals, and if they don't have it, in one case they had a whole series that was not available for at least a couple of years because they just couldn't get the materials. But you're going to see now, you can see how this little guy is floating above the picture. All I have to do is push it down. I'm doing that without the other hand that actually makes it work, but just so you could see. But they go right down into place above the row before them. I like to work from bottom to top. Oh, shoot, I split. I did something funky here, but I think I can save it without having to take it all out. Oh, there's definitely one that went in front or behind. So it was popping out on the front of the piece. And that won't work, but I think another one actually pierced the warp thread. And when that happens, it's not going to move freely. It's just going to stay there in the wrong place. So I have to go back through. I'm not going to count this as take 3 because I am pretty close to the end. I think this will be fairly quick to finish. I just don't know if this is going to actually be any fun for anybody to watch. How about leaving a comment? Nobody ever leaves comments, or very rarely. And I really love the comments. I love to teach. I love to give people knowledge, even if they're not interested in doing this themselves or just curious about how it works. I'm happy to tell people that. And it's really hard when I don't know what people want to know. So by leaving a comment on this video, I can respond to it. It also helps the video, it helps the channel, and I know you hear this every time you watch a YouTube video. There's always a call to action where people are, the creator is saying, okay, everybody leave me a comment on this particular thing, and I'm not in this for the money, which is a good thing, because I'd be mighty poor if I was. But a lot of creators, they are in this for the money. And so you'll hear them say comment and subscribe and share and click the like button. And those are all things I want you to do too. But based on how few people actually do that, they either get what they want and they don't ever need to see another video of mine again, or they didn't make it this far and they're bored. And that's fine. I get it. It's a weird little hobby that not everybody is going to like to do. And I hate to call it a hobby, but since I've never sold a piece, never been commissioned for a piece, then I can't really say that it's a career. But it's certainly a creative outlet. Okay, yay. I think I got it. I think I got it. All right, so now I can tighten up again. Make sure that there's nothing messy. Yay. Okay. So thanks for sticking with me. Oh, that was 14 minutes. But I did have that problem. I did restart a 4th time. But leave me questions. I'd really appreciate just being able to answer your questions and what's interesting. And can I peek in? Hi. With my thick old miner glasses. But that's it. This is row 210 of 430. And each one is that painstaking, and sometimes I make mistakes to the point that I just get up and walk away because I can't stand it anymore. But this time I stuck with it, and that's because of you guys. I wanted you guys to see this, and I was not going to quit. Anyway, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.